Okay, so now that we know some dominant 7 chords, let's apply it to the 12-bar blues in the key of A. So we know we start with the A, the 1 chord for 4 bars, the D, 4 chord for 2 bars, back to the A for 2 bars, E for 2 bars, 1 for a bar, and back to the 5 or the E for a bar. So we're going to play that now, that pattern, with our dominant 7 chords. This would kind of be like if you were playing rhythm guitar, this would be the accompaniment to that riff that we were playing. This would be like kind of what the lead guy was playing. The chords underneath would be providing the harmony structure for the rest of the group, the musical piece. So since we're playing A and then we're going to D, I know I taught you the A7 using your first finger and your second finger. But you can also play it with your second finger on the second fret of the D string and your third finger on the second fret of the B string. The reason I'm having you do it like this is because when we switch down to the D7, all you got to do is move those 2 fingers down a string and put your first finger down. It's an easier transition. So sometimes it makes sense to play chords with a different fingering depending on where you're going next. So we're going to play this chord for 4 bars, our A7. We're going to use our down, 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 up pattern. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to switch to our D7 for 2 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to our A7. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. To our E7. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to our A7. 2, 3, 4. Back to our E7 for our turnaround. Then we'd start all over. So just get used to playing that. Moving these chords around. You can practice with different strum patterns. Okay, so that's how you play the 12-bar blues using the dominant 7 chords as kind of like a rhythm guitar part. Now, you're pretty familiar with the pattern by now, so really what you're concentrating on really is just moving these chords around. Okay, so now I'm going to show you a way to end the 12-bar blues pattern, which we haven't done yet. So you're jamming out on the 12-bar blues. We play that pattern over and over. Usually somebody's playing rhythm, somebody's playing lead, and you want to end it. So we're going to end it at the same point where you would do the turnaround. So starting on the 11th bar of the pattern, you'll go to a certain riff I'm going to show you. So if we're coming out of the 9th and 10th bars, where we play our E chord if we're in the key of A, or our 5 chord. So when we would go back to the 1 or the 11th bar, we're going to come up here and play some notes out of the A major scale. So we're going to start on A as if we were playing our A major scale with our second finger on the 5th fret, low E string. We're going to play that twice. Then we're going to jump up to the 3rd interval, 4th fret with our first finger on the A string. Play that twice. Then the 5th fret on the A string with our second finger. Then the 6th fret with our 3rd finger, and then our pinky on the 7th fret. So the whole thing would be okay. Now you notice we're playing a note in there with our 3rd finger on the 6th fret of the A string that's not in the major scale. that one. That is called a passing tone. So we're connecting the 4th interval of the major scale to the 5th interval. That's called a passing tone. Okay, so we do that riff, then we want to end on the root note or the tonic or our A if we're in the key of A. We're just going to play a power chord on the 6th fret of the low E string. So that's an A sharp. And then we're going to drop back to our A power chord. So the whole riff would sound like this. Or another option would be so that is just 4th fret or an A flat power chord up to our A to end on. So keep in mind when you play this riff, alternate your picking. And that's it. That's how you end it. So in context, coming out of the 5th chord or bars 9 and 10, that's how it would go. So the whole thing, if you play around the whole progression, here comes our end. That's how you end the 12-bar blues. So we're applying dominant 7 chords to our 12-bar blues pattern, and we're going to practice on ending it. So just play around the pattern a couple of times. When you're ready to end it, you start that ending riff on the 11th bar.